I have to do as you're told. I'm sorry, this is not your deal. It's his deal. And you're going to do it his way. Or you're not going to do it at all. And he has, in these last days, opened that up to us and said, do you want to be a part of Israel? Yes, I do. Let me tell you how Israel's established. They're established on these laws. Well, we got to go back under the law? You're not listening. You're not listening if you think that's going back under the law. This is being obedient. This is not being legalistic. This is not adhering to the letters of the law. This is doing as we're told. Your Messiah said so. That's what we need to do. And why is all this important? Because there's a time coming that is going to eat you alive. Men, some of you are going to outrun your wives. You're going to have to leave them behind. It's happening to some of you. I heard you giggling out there. Ladies, some of you are going to have to leave your husbands in the lazy boy. Because those days are coming. The days are coming when you're going to have to walk away from your own children. Wait a minute. I like the husband part. I don't know if I like that part. Yes, it's true. You're going to have to walk away. Because many may be called, but there are few that are chosen. There's coming a time when you're going to have to stand up for what you believe. It's going to be very difficult. Don't worry, you're not going to have to divorce anybody. You're not going to have to walk away, and you're not going to have to shun them. You're not going to have to hold your hand up and say, get thee behind me, Satan. They're going to kick you out because they've had enough. Some of you are experiencing that. They've had enough. But you're going to have to be faithful to the end. It's not enough to be called. You need to be chosen. Not enough to be called and chosen. You need to be faithful. And if you are faithful, all of what I have to tell you is going to be a wonderful time. It's going to be that mixed time that you're feeling right now at Feast of Tabernacles. Are we rehearsing a disaster? Or are we just feasting? Because, I'm feeling good. We're doing both. The answer is yes. That's exactly what we're doing. We are rehearsing a horrible time. Look around. Your whole family's not here. Look around. Some of you men, where's your wives? Some of you ladies, where's your husbands? Do you understand? It's not all party, is it? It is a disaster. Sometimes it's a personal disaster. Sometimes it hurts way down deep in your heart. Sometimes it hurts when you lay in your bed at night and you think about the people who don't care one whit about that which is of utmost importance to you. So it's not all about feasting, is it? This is the time that's set aside to separate. I don't know what He has in store for us, but I do know that eye has not seen, nor ear heard, what He has in store for us, for those that love Him. And those of you that are burdened about your families, I understand. My family's not here either. And ones I love dearly are not here. One of these days, this will be the tabernacles that we've been dreading. And they won't be here either. So, it's not all about partying, is it? But remember the commandment, thou shalt rejoice. So get on with it. I hope I've piqued your interest. I hope you're looking forward to what is in store, because we're going to continue with this theme, talking about end times. Hopefully by the time we're done, you will have in your mind a timeline that makes perfect sense. But Now, can we prepare for tribulation? Is the question. You cannot do it. Hey, look at Amos 5. 18th verse. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. Have you ever heard anybody say, I can't wait till Jesus comes back? The Bible says that people that talk like that lack understanding. If they got that message from Red Letter Edition, it would have said, you're an idiot. Let me tell you, when this all starts coming apart, you need to know that this is not going to be fun. It was not fun for the children of Israel to trek across the wilderness and fleeing for their lives because Pharaoh was right behind them. Now, it says, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him. You're going to prepare for end times? Is that what you're going to do? You're going to stock your garage full of toilet paper and you're going to be fine? Let me tell you something. You do not know what's going to happen. How are you going to prepare for something and you have no idea what is going to happen? In this situation, the man fled from a lion, but a bear met him. This is describing the day of the Lord. It's as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or he went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. If you think you're going to prepare for this, you're not going to do it. Oh, then what do we do? I know how you feel. I felt the same way. But the more I looked into this, the more I realized that end times or not, Antichrist or not, enemies surrounding us or not, fleeing to the wilderness, having a good solid four-wheel drive and a tent in the back, none of these things, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. Because no matter if the end times are about to be instituted upon us in the next 5 minutes, the next 5 years, or the next 50 years, nothing changes about the way you live. If you're living in excess and you're wasting money and you are not being prudent with what you're doing, and you think you need to change because end times are here, let me tell you something. You need to change anyway. You can't live a life of waste and excess and have any confidence at all that you're in any place that you could call safe. It doesn't matter. Not one thing changes about the way you live, whether he'll be here tonight, whether Antichrist raises his head in the morning, whether the cops in black suits show up in the driveway, whether the helicopters fly overhead today and they start jumping out of there with their guns. Nothing changes with you. It shouldn't. If you're not ready for that, you're not ready to go to your grandchildren's graduation either. You're not ready to deal with the problems that your daughter and her new husband are having. You're not ready to deal with the problems on your job. You're not ready to deal with financial problems or political problems or anything else. We have to stop this idea that we need to prepare for end times. You need to prepare for life. And when you're prepared for life, you're prepared for end times. Because you need to hear the voice of God in your life every day. When's the Antichrist coming? I don't know. He'll tell me. Well, can't we take a calendar and count out the days and find out exactly when the abomination of desolation is set up? You don't even know what the abomination of desolation is. And you're going to calculate this and figure this out so it doesn't take you by surprise? How do you keep from being surprised about these things? You live in the light. If you're of the light, you're not in darkness. It's going to overtake them as a thief because they're in darkness. Had the goodman of the house known what watch the thief would come, he would have watched. and wouldn't have suffered his house to be broken up. But what we have to do is we have to live in a house that when they break through and steal our stuff, that they're not stealing our stuff. We don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We are in the hands of the Almighty. So when it comes to preparation, please don't take from anything that I'm saying that we all need to buy, fatigues and a good pair of boots. You should have a good pair of boots. And if you weren't so concerned about your cotton-picking Bruno Mollies, that's what you'd be wearing. But you can't wear those to church. These don't go with my purse. You see what I mean? Because we're living in excess, we think we need to make changes. You need to make changes because your life is not simple. Your life's not simple because you want to do what you want to do for your own reasons. Let me tell you something. If that's your philosophy in life, tribulation's going to eat you alive. It's going to eat you alive. We'll be stepping over your dead carcass on our way out. I don't like it when you talk like that. It's true, though. It's true, though. Many of us cannot do without. When we won't do without anything. Shame on you. You need to learn how to do that right now. Antichrist or no Antichrist. Now remember that the subject, our topic has been, or will be, or at least we've started is, red letter eschatology. This is that the Lord Himself gave us certain signs, certain words, certain sentences. We can gain understanding from that about the end times. And we don't necessarily need anything else to make that happen. We don't necessarily need a school in prophecy to understand that He's going to make a table for us in the presence of our enemies. We don't need to decipher these things in dates and codes and in secret sayings. It's very, very clear, and it should be clear within you that He is going to take care of us, that we will walk through that fire and not be burned. Neither shall the flame kindle upon you. Now that's going to be cool. It's going to be so cool, in fact, that it's going to change Jehovah's lifelong, if you can attach that word to Him, it's going to change His lifelong reputation as the God that brought the children of Israel up out of the land of Egypt. Remember when Joshua took the children of Israel over the Jordan. One of the things that they did when they took Jericho, remember what Rahab said? We've heard about your people. The whole city is trembling because we've heard about you. What was their reputation? That their God went before them and wiped out enemies, and they were afraid. The reputation of Jehovah is going to change. When it comes to end times, when it comes to these fearful things that are coming on us, remember that your example is in the Old Testament. And when it talks about the Exodus from Egypt, remember that the children of Israel said, "Wherefore have you made us come up out of Egypt to bring us into this evil place?" Now, what does evil place mean? Church has taken the word evil and turned it into something spiritually sinister. But that's not the way the Bible uses the word. You remember the one of the most pronounced usages of this word is when the vision of the evil figs and the good figs. You remember that? They're so evil that no man can eat them. That's what the Bible says. Well, you see, we have a wrong understanding of evil. Evil just means rotten, bad, worse, that it's as bad as it can be. Has nothing to do with being satanic. See, when I say evil, you think satanic. I know you do, because that's the way the church talks. But if you're going to use the words like the Scriptures teach, you got to know what evil is. Evil's just something that's unpleasant. Okay? So he says, "Why have you made us come up out of Egypt to bring us unto this evil place?"